Hello, we're about to get started here, waiting for any late attendees to join. 1 second.
Okay.
All righty, perfect. So thank you guys, everyone, for coming. We know how valuable your time is. We are going to go ahead and get started here. Obviously, this is a waxing class. Naturaverde Pro. It's made in Italy and it offers Estee's high quality, effective, and easy to use wax. The line offers a full range from hard waxes to soft waxes. It also has pre and post products. And the line is super rich in oils, emollients, and natural extracts. It's going to leave the skin silky and smooth. And then today's class is going to be on the roll-on waxes.
So we're super excited today to have Marge Glazer join us. She is a senior waxing educator with Naturaverde Pro, and she's really a legend in her industry. And always seeing Marge waxing is a thrill. You guys are so lucky to have Marge today. She's super passionate about her work, and she started her career the same year as we did in 1991. She's a very well-known waxing educator, and she trains both nationally and internationally. We have set up a coupon code for you guys to use. That coupon code will be good for 48 hours, and it will get you 10% off the entire Naturaverde Pro line. So at checkout, where it says coupon code, just put in the word wax, all capitalized, and you can take advantage of that sale.
All right. And if you guys have any questions at all, no need to type them in the chat because it is a little bit of a smaller class. Just feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions as they come.
And then after you ask your questions, please mute yourself again so there's less background noise.
All righty. And take it away, Marge.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to our Naturaverde class today. I'm super excited. I'm going to introduce you to our model. This is LaSonia, and we're going to be waxing arms and legs and underarms and whatever else she'll let me wax, of course. And then, so we're going to start with a little bit of education. Obviously, they introduced me, so no introduction needed there. I'm going to have you just kind of scan over here and take a look at what we've got that we're working with today. Okay, so we're going to be working with pomegranate, the tea tree, the pink deluxe roll-on, and the honey roll-on today. And these are our Naturaverde roll-on systems. And so I want you to get yourself familiar with that, and I'll kind of bring the product up and talk about them as we, progress here. So the first things first, so I always like to start with your model release form for me, and then for you guys, it's your client intake. So you always want to do a client intake, discuss with them after they've filled it out, their type of skin, if they are allergic to anything. And then also what you're going to want to do is sign your name, and they're going to sign theirs an initial, because that's going to be covering you for all the contraindications and protect you and the client at the same time. So that's first things first. And as you see, I'm going to be signing that myself right now. That way we have every base covered. She said she'll let me wax everything today. So that's exciting, that I can wax just whatever we have time for. Okay, so that gets that out of the way. I'm gonna set this over here. Well, I didn't. Behind the magic curtain, right? Okay, so we're going to get started. What I want to talk about first, though, is we're going to talk about her skin. So you can see LaSonia has fair skin, and it's a bit dry, even though she has some large pores, but that's not because she has oily right here, but it is if it's on her face. So her face would be oily because she has some of that. So depending on where you're going to be using your roll-on, and we're going to do it on the body today. You're going to look at the skin. We have, all kinds of hair to remove here. We're going to do underarms. So I'm just going to kind of show you what we're working with. You want to be careful with the delicate skin. She is fair. Her hair type, if you can see that, is well, I'll tell you, it's kind of like a medium. She has fine to medium here. And then on her legs, let's just take a little peek here. On her legs, she's got medium to coarse hair, but again, she kind of does have a delicate skin. So we're going to be working on those areas today. So any questions on types of hair or skin, or is there something particular that you girls would like to see demonstrated today? No questions, no comments. Okay. All right. So then we're just going to get started. So when you're working with a client and she says, hey, listen, I'm open to a full body wax, then what you want to do is you're going to start with, you know, wherever you're going to start on the body. I like to start from the top and kind of work my way down to the bottom. If you have a preference on what you would like to see first, please let me know that. You unmute yourselves and then we'll take a look at that. Thanks. Okay, so Leslie, I'm going to have you lay back for me. It's okay. Don't worry about any of that. I always want to have my client comfortable. And before we get started, I just want her to just kind of relax and let's talk about some of the product that we're going to be using today. So I don't know if you guys have the roll on yet, but let's take a look at it. Okay, so first of all, when it comes in the pack, I'm going to just kind of start from top to bottom here. They're really hot and hard to handle. So the reason why I love Naturaverde is it comes in kind of a protectant. Shows you from full to empty here. This one happens to be our pomegranate. It's with the organic pomegranate oil. It has some oil, zinc, and other ingredients for medium to fine hair. And for sensitive skin. This one particularly, I think, would be great for her type of skin and hair. For most of her body, actually, I think. She would like it a lot. It's going to be very luxurious. Now, let me see if I can get... I was going to say, they're pretty easy to remove. So you're just going to pull off the tab right like this. And now it's ready to go. You just place it right in your roll-on machine. And now the heat's off. And let me tell you, it's very hot. So this is great for the product that you're using. It keeps the heat off of you. The little plug in the back, it secures itself nicely. So if you can see that it plugs here. And this is the pomegranate. It's for sensitive skin, and I know Lasonia's skin is sensitive, so we're going to start with that one today. So we're going to continue to do that with the rest of them, and we'll talk about it. If you're interested in the ingredients, sunflower oil, glycerin, beeswax. It has, this one has a special wax, just left palm seed wax. And it's very gentle on the skin, very gentle on the skin. Okay, so same thing with the tea tree, and it has titanium dioxide in case you're wondering what all the ingredients are. You can also get those ingredients offline if you're not getting them written down or I'm going too fast. You can find those online at Naturaverde Pro. Okay, so this one is the tea tree. So it kind of comes, it slides in and out. It's covered and protected. It's a one-use cartridge. If you don't use much of it and you have enough room to store it, you can label it for your client. And that way there's no cross-contamination, but it's a one use and done, and then you dispose of it. This one's tea tree. It's ideal for medium to fine sensitive skin also. And so that would work on her as well because it's for sensitive, medium to fine hair. And so I kind of had the ones that are meant for the medium to fine hair, sensitive skin all on one. So you've got a couple of options there. Just throw that in the trash. And then On the other hand of that, so she's got a little bit more coarse hair on the bottom, we could probably choose something within the medium to coarse, stubborn, curly type of hairs. And so we're going to start with our deluxe pink roll-on. It's for coarse, thick hair. And you use it on for normal to dry skin. And see, it just so easily comes out just like that. I love that it is beautiful in pink. It tells you right on the container that it is for coarse, thick, use on dry to normal skin. This also has titanium dioxide on it. They're all glycerin based with beeswax and rose oil. This one has honey, obviously, very short ingredients. But the honey is for medium to coarse to use on normal to oily skin. So you just kind of pop them out, same as before, and then just put right back in. And boy, these things are hot. So hold them up here on this plastic when you're removing it, or remove it before you start. I just wanted to show everyone kind of how easy it is to get them off of there, and then how nice you can place it. So I'll show you this. Ideal for medium to coarse, recommended for normal to dry skin. Okay, so any questions about that so far? Are there any questions? No questions? Okay, so if there's no questions, then we're just gonna continue on. I hear dings. Is that them coming in and out of class? Okay. We're gonna start with our cleanse. You're always gonna start your client with your cleanse. This has olive oil extract, aloe vera, chamomile, and it's micellar water. And so I'm going to start with that. Anytime that I'm working on a whole body, I'm going to try and cleanse the whole body at one time. So I'm going to get a couple of these ready to go. The rest of the education that I'll teach you about on the product end will kind of go as we need and learn as we go. So we're going to start with LaSonia's underarms today. And you can get in there pretty good. But now let's say you weren't able to get in there very well. You would want to use a towel and place it underneath her underarm. So we're going to cleanse each underarm. Can you see good, Hadley? Mm-hmm. Can everyone see okay? And then let me see. Arms. Go ahead and cleanse the arm. We'll do some feathering. She's not very hairy on the top part, but we'll do some feathering. Now, did you notice that LaSonia has a tattoo right here? I never wax over a tattooed area unless it's like a year out. Just because you could remove some of the ink if it's newer. And LaSonia told me this is a newer tattoo. So we're gonna kind of just wax around it. But if it's been on there for more than a year, waxing over that is perfectly fine. In fact, it'll brighten it up. But since it's fairly new, we're not going to wax over it. Any questions about that?
I have a question, Margaret, about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. I had never heard that before about the tattoos being too fresh for waxing. Does that apply to hard wax as well as soft wax?
Yes, you should be very careful with new tattoos, and hers is less than even 6 months old. So you really have to be careful, because while they're still sort of in the new stage, you can remove a little too much skin that might still be settling in with the color.
I see. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so That's the top, and we're gonna go continue on down here. I kind of like to cleanse the whole area because sometimes we'll get busy and forget to do it if we're just doing one area at a time. That way, you know, the leg has time to dry while we're doing all of the other things. Now, on a larger part of the body, I'm using cotton rounds right now with our Nutraverde's cleanse, but you can also use, more proficient really, is an esthetician 4x4. I love those better because they go a little bit further on the skin. Another thing I want to point out while we're here is scarring. So let's talk about scarring. If you're working with the scar, you need to be careful because that tissue is a little bit more sensitive. So I would use maybe hard wax on that, or if it's over a year old, you don't really have to worry about it. And the same thing is with bruising. She's got a couple little bruises at the top, and you want to be careful of the bruising going over bruised skin just because it's already compromised. So hard wax in that spot probably only as well. When we're working up the legs, you want to take note to yourself about skin that might be a little bit more loose or flexible, and have a good grip when you're doing your waxing technique so as not to hurt anyone. And if it's not, you know, if you're not able to do that, use a hard wax only in that area. When I'm working with the clients, they always come in with these beautiful nails that the nail techs have done. And I don't know if you noticed it today, but I definitely put gloves on my client. I feel like that once they get wax on their nails or their hands, the service is stopped for the cleanup. So to avoid that, I always just offer them, let me have this leg open. I just go ahead and offer them some gloves right from the beginning so that we don't have to stop for cleanup. All right, so now that we've got the whole area that we're going to be working on cleansed, we're going to start with the underarms. Now, I don't know how many of you, and I need to hear voices, are already using the Naturaverde roll-on system. Anyone? Not worked with it yet before? Okay. All right, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to remove it from its stand. And this is super important, guys, to know. You're going to have to prime it. We're going to call this priming it. Do you see how I'm priming it? It's kind of just getting the wax started so it doesn't pull on the skin, okay? So after it's primed, you want to have your client put her hand behind her head. She's going to hold her breast up out of the way. You're going to kind of just pull the skin taut if you need to, and then you go in the direction that the hair grows. And if it doesn't go on smooth, give it another prime. Because you don't want to tug at their skin. All right. And I'm going to fold this in half and kind of use it. We don't want to waste it. Okay, so we're going to put this halfway. You never want to use more than half of your waxing strip. You want to divide that in half and only use that, because otherwise there's just too much skin to control. You want to be in control of the skin in the area that you're working on. Okay, I'm gonna that was annoying. I couldn't get to it. Okay. Well, Sonia, did that pull on you? The roller? The roller. Yeah. Yes, it pulls. Okay. Let's prime it a little bit more. They're on. Okay. I don't feel like it got enough product on the area. And then Hadley kind of put the camera in the way. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm gonna move that just slightly. I can control the pull off. Yeah, I was gonna say just stand back because you want to pull the skin tight and then you want to punch the area off and then apply pressure. Much better removal that time. You want to pull the skin taut. Oh, and it didn't come off. Now, I don't know if you have this where it doesn't come loose from the skin. That means that their skin's pretty dry. Although we are having a great removal on the ones that we are getting. So to prevent that from happening, on the other side, I'm going to add a buffer so it doesn't stick. All right, I like that. We might have to try a different one on you, Sonia. Did you shower right before you came? All right. So no hot baths or showers 2 hours before waxing service, because what it does is it dries out the skin and doesn't leave any moisture in there. So what happens when you've waxed an area and you can't wax over it? Anybody know? Well, here's the great thing about Naturaverde. We have our hard waxes already heated up. It's great to use the roll-on because what happens is it saves you time. Now, what can improve this situation is the buffer. So what would we use as a buffer? We can go in with our post-treatment. It has olive oil, jojoba oil, and calendula extract. And we'd use the Nourish and create a barrier and then wipe it off so that we remove the excess so we can get a better removal. But meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and use some of the Karate, which I believe I taught in the last class. It's a flex hard wax for fine to medium hair. And we're going to go in and just pick up those ones that we missed. Creating a tab on the top. There's a little more. I always start them off on ready or medium, but I like to turn them down once they're kind of heated up, just so they're not too hot for the skin. More dry today. Okay, we're working with some dry skin here today. After we get this one kind of situated around, we're going to work on getting a better skin situation. Okay. We usually use pomegranate on you, don't we? I'm sure we do. Okay. Really sticking to you today, girl. Shower doesn't like dirty. Wow, okay.
Well, my skin has been dry.
All right, dry skin. We're gonna have to treat the other side definitely for dry skin. Okay.
Maybe my legs too.
Yes, I would think so. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Nourish on just to loosen up the product in this area because the product is really sticking to Lasonia. Okay. And then we'll come back and take a look at that a little bit. Actually, here, I'm gonna do this. Okay. We'll come back to that one in just a minute and see what we got here. I love the Nourish because it just will lift the product right off of the skin. That looks great considering all of the difficulty we had getting it off of there. That's your delicate skin here, Lasonia. Are you okay? All right, we'll let that marinate a minute. All right, so when we're working with skin that's dry, what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of Nourish on the skin. So you put a little bit on a 4x4 and just go in and treat the dry skin before we have to work on it. And I'm gonna just do your arms as well. Just kind of get ahead of the game here. And we have to kind of be careful, especially if someone has lost a lot of weight with their skin. It does tend to pull and hurt a little bit more. Okay, so let's try the tea tree oil roll-on. It's for fine to medium hair, also for sensitive skin. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to prime the roller, kind of like that. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Oh, that one glides a little bit better. Doesn't pull. This one's the tea tree oil one. I like this one much better for her skin. Okay, so you place it, get all your real estate in, make sure that you're pulling it tight. And then what you're going to do is you're going to punch it off and apply pressure.
That hurt way less too.
Well, it didn't work for pulling the hair out though. That's why it hurt way less, right? This is why it's always important to have a backup plan with your hard wax, especially if you can't wax over an already waxed area. You might get a client that comes in that's a little bit more difficult, and that's your average. I did a Brazilian with this tea tree oil yesterday, and it was perfect at removing all of the hairs. So for it to leave Lawsonia is quite interesting. So I'm gonna, can you show the hard waxes for me? Okay. So I'm gonna have, we use the Karate Flex Hard Wax for fine to medium hair, sensitive skin, delicate areas. All of the hard waxes are for sensitive skin, and which is great. The gold is for the fine to coarse hair. So we're gonna try a little bit of that underneath there because we've already gone over it with the hard wax. I mean, with this, the roll-on, we can't use anything else.
Margaret, if you can hear me, I think you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you just went on mute real quick. So just repeat what you said in like the last 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I was going to say, unfortunately, we can never tell how the skin's going to react, you know, to certain types of roll-ons or product. And so today, this is what having your hard wax on as a backup is great, because then when things don't go as you planned, you can have a way to get the hair off, you know, because the strip wax is just a one and done situation. So when we're working with sensitive skin, and the first one was, you know, too harsh on her skin, and then the second one didn't even take any of her hair out, which is fine. You might find that, and it's not because we haven't chosen properly for the skin and hair. It's just today, it's just not working. Whereas yesterday it was a perfect choice, you know. So you just play around with the product till you find one that works for your client. That's why I love Naturaverde. They have so many to choose from, different options that will work for you. And you have your backup for your hard wax. It's perfect. Sorry about the mute, didn't realize the button had gotten pushed. We have a quiet bunch this time. Can you hear us, or did we mute again? Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, just a quiet bunch today. Okay. You doing okay, Lasonia? No, I feel like once you've kind of gone over the area, you just go back and kind of tweeze where you need to. Now, sometimes you might see a blood dot like this. I don't know. Let me see if I can get it zoomed in. If you see a blood dot like this one, that's normal. Just means you got a good removal of the hair in that spot. Doesn't mean the skin's removed. It just means good removal of the hair. Okay. All right. So we're just going to be moving on to the arms next. So what I like to do is I like to have my client set up on the side of the bed. Thank you, Lasonia. Make sure the clothes is covered up so you're not making any kind of a mess anywhere. Now we didn't put finishing products on because I like to do it at the end to save time. Take this one down just so we can maybe do the hands because we have a nice little area of hair right here just to kind of take a look at all of her hair. And her skin is pretty sensitive, but we're going to try a couple of different things just because she signed my paper and she's my guinea pig today. We're going to see about maybe using the pink and also the honey just so we can demonstrate all 4 of the roll-on waxes. About right there. Okay, we're gonna use the pink, the deluxe pink roll-on, and again, it's always with you're gonna start each one with the priming, just like that. I don't know if you can get a good look at that. So just prime it first, and then we're gonna apply it. I'm going to just do the hand so I can hold on to her hand, kind of get that one out of the way first. You can use this one because product will remove product. You're going to apply it in the direction of the hair growth, and then you're going to remove it again, just like that, and apply pressure. That one was better. Feels a little bit grippy, but it is for dry to normal skin. Yeah, that was a nice removal right there. Let me see if I can. That was a whole lot better. I don't know if you can tell or not, but that was a whole lot better there. Okay, so we're gonna turn the arm over. Now remember what I said about the tattoo, so be careful and stay away from that. We did put a little bit of oil on there prior to. That was our Nourish. That has our olive oil and our jojoba oil. So you always want to kind of start on the inside of the arm first. What I like about the Naturaverde roll-on is that it's quick and fast. If you're using the traditional, you could kind of come right up to where you need to on that. If you're using the traditional roll pot method, it takes a little bit longer to do that. So you'll either use your Paylon or your non-woven or your woven. I'm going to use woven this time, and then apply pressure. You always want to work from right to left or left to right, just to kind of keep your hands out of the wax. Go back and pick up any pieces that you missed. Now, can you guys hear that zip? You really want to hear that zip. That means that you're getting a good removal of the product. Then apply pressure. And then apply pressure. Just go back and pick up your little leftovers. How you doing, LaSonia? You doing all right? Sorry. Now, I just punched her by accident. So how to avoid that hitting someone is just to move the arm out a little bit more, okay? Because we are using a pull punch method where you pull the skin tight and then you punch it off. Just try to avoid their body. Okay, that looks great. I'm going to go in for a close-up. Can you see all right? Well, it really looks great. How did that one feel, LaSonia? All right, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, perfect. We tried the pink, and now I want to just demonstrate the honey. The honey is for more of an oily skin, medium to coarse, not necessarily what I would use, but again, you would prime the roller just like that. I love the big grip. It's easy to hold on to. And then you just go with the direction of the hair, never go against it. And it's just so fast. I'm going slow to demonstrate, but man, you can really whip out some arm waxes, some leg waxes, chest, back. I use it on the Brazilian. It works great in the areas that you can use the wax in, especially on the mound in that area. So I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to work my way around using what I already have here. And then I'm going to grip the hand from beneath right there to keep the skin nice and taut. When you're removing the hair from the arm, you want to follow through and go all the way around. How does that one feel compared to the other one? Do you like the other one better?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay. Well, you hear the zip in that one, huh? Okay, so we're just going to keep working ourselves around the arm, holding it tight, punching it off, applying pressure. Again, same thing. Hold it tight. Going around, apply pressure afterwards. And pull that. Then you have a line here that's kind of where you're just going to go up the line, just where the hair was separated. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now on the top, since she doesn't have a whole lot of hair, we would use a feathering technique. But first, let me show you about the hair on the side. So this is kind of the harder area where it's a little bit iffy. You kind of come down like this way, then it comes this way. You have some hair that goes up this way. It's all directional, so make sure that you're getting that, but be careful not to, once again, get your person in the face. I think I'll switch back to this one right here. We're going to use our Deluxe Pink roll on, and we're, oh man, that just glides on the skin. That's so much better for her right there. It's so easy and smooth. I love it. Now with the same one, we're just going to continue because product removes product, right? We don't want to waste our products because right now everything is super hard to get in the industry. And Naturaverde has been super about getting me my supplies. Very cost effective, which is a price point we haven't talked about really. When you're using the Naturaverde roll-on, they start at $3.99. So think about that as a full body wax, one of those would do a huge amount of real estate skin wise. And then you're no messy cleanup, you just throw it away and you're done. That's what I really love about it. Now, if you've missed any, looks like we missed maybe just one hair here or two. That's why I love to have the Nutraverde's hard waxes on hand, just in case we need to do a little bit of cleanup. But this is a whole lot less of a cleanup, you know, if you were doing, and less time, it went really quickly. And you can even leave that, come back and pick it up here in just a little bit. I created a tab, but now let me show you. So this product that you have from the roll-on right here can be used to feather the hair up here so that it kind of blends. She doesn't need to have all of that because she barely has any up there. Can you show that? So how you would blend that in is you would just lay it, use kind of what's already on the strip, and then just lift that off. Can you feel that it's taking the hair? And it just kind of feathers. You're not wasting product, but you're blending in kind of what she has on her arm. So it just doesn't show like a line of demarcation, if you will, if you were coloring. It won't leave a line, and it's just kind of feathered in. Create your tab, and then you should be able to pull up. Yes. Well, LaSonia here is a hairdresser. And so the sides of her hands are dry from where she's shampooing all of the time. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing here. I have the gloves on her just so that she can assist with like any skin that we need to, but see how she's already dry right here. So that's a area of concern. Just basically from her profession, they get dry around the wrists and this part of their hands. So we'll just kind of put a little extra buffer there, so we won't have any wax remaining. So which one? So here was, yeah, look at that. Pretty, isn't it? Wow, nice. Now this is where we did the pink, and this is where we did the honey, and then this is where we did the pink. I feel like the pink allows her skin to look much better. What do you guys think?
I like pink.
Yeah, the pink really does do a good job for her right here. So we could try a couple of the others on her, but I really like to work with what's working with her skin right now. And I think I'm going to just stay with the pink. Do you guys see how this could save you time?
Absolutely. I am so slow at arms.
Well, and you know, this is a class, obviously, so you take a little bit more time to do the class. But if you're in here with a client, this is zip, 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 you know. Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? Okay, so now we're going to go to the inside. You always want to start with the inside of the arm. Just, you know, quick roll on, just like that. Bam, done. If we were in the pot, we'd be, you know, several applicators wasted, time wasted. But with the roll on, it's cost effective, starting at $3.99, going up to about $5, depending on which kind you like. I like them all, so we have them all here. Always applying a little pressure. Pull, punch. pull, punch, pull, punch. Always working out either right to left or left to right, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. Move out a little bit. She said, oh, I don't want to get punched. Are you guys still under a mask order there?
Not here in Santa Cruz County.
Awesome.
I'm
Thanks,
in
Nadine.
Florida. And Florida, we never really was wearing masks.
Never was.
No.
Well, here in Johnson County, we're out of the mask order. And I tell you, ladies, I can't wait for things to return to normal. How about you?
So ready.
So ready, yes. So continue using your strip, you know, as long as there's product. I've had product flowing off the back. You'll know when to switch because it won't work for you anymore. Sorry about that. Get that around the right way here. It's that dry skin around there. Okay. Get all this encompassed, your real estate. Pull down here, pinch skin tight, and off it comes. Love the zip. High pressure. High pressure. Are you guys affected by any shortages in your areas? Probably not. Okay, so we're gonna just fold this in on the side here now, because we kind of have to watch the direction in which the hair grows. For the most part, it grows down. No, if you can see that, but this piece right here, ooh, they're very fine. I think some of them go. I think they all go this way on the bottom part. Okay, here we go. Can you guys see okay?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that one was this way. Okay, perfect. So, a couple of things I want to cover here. Like, have you guys noticed that when I'm putting the product on, I'm going in the direction of the hair, and then the hair on the body should be 1/4 of an inch long. And the other thing, oh, a couple little hard wax spots there. The other thing is that you should always be working from right to left or left to right, not using more than, sorry, got it. Now, where did they go? I saw them. There they are. Just going back to pick up a few that got missed. So 1/4 inch on the body, 1/8 of an inch on the face. Pull your tab and off they come. Shiny side, the shiny side will get the tab up.
That looks amazing.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh man, I tell you, and quick, you know. I need more time and money. That's for sure. Saves time, saves money. Think about how many applications you would use on the pot versus the roll-on. Quick and easy. You roll it on, no applicators are wasted. You can reuse your strip, you know, on the arm. I like that we can use the extra product that's on the, like this, just to feather the fine hairs in. So I'll show you that. And you want to pull down on the skin so it's taut and then pull against it. Just to kind of blend so there isn't a line of a demarcation of the hair or skin. Man, that's beautiful. Sonia, do you like it?
Looks nice and fresh.
Yeah. This exfoliates too, so it's going to give you a younger looking arm for sure. All right. Then now we're going to move on. I don't know how many people are here in the classroom. Are there any questions so far about technique or the roll-on system or how we're using it? No? Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is have you lay back down. I'm going to have you on your stomach first because we want to start, well, we'll start with the front, on your back. That's okay. That's okay. That's what it's for anyways, just to kind of put a barrier between you. All right. Sonia, I'll have you lay back for me. Perfect. Okay, so I always like to kind of start with the knee. So remember I kind of showed you a spot on her knee that we're going to be careful of. What did you do here?
I crashed my scooter.
Okay, crashed your scooter. Woo, it looked like it hurt. Has it been, 6 months ago or less?
Probably less.
Less than that, okay. So that's kind of where I like to start, is on the knees first. And so we're going to work our way around the knee. Just the reason why is because the knee's kind of in the middle. It's just easier to start with the knees first. We've already cleansed the skin. So we're going to work with
Hi,
our
Marge,
roller.
we do have a question.
Oh, wonderful. What is the question?
What is sanitation protocol of roll-on between clients?
Okay, so when I first initially started the class, I talked about the roll-on, here's the thing, let me show you. Okay, so this is Lasonia's roll-on. And let's say we are only doing armpits today. I would label this and put Lasonia. I would take it out of its container and I would store it away for Lasonia after you clean up, okay? If you need to save it. Now, because we're doing a lot of area, this is like, say, $3.99 to $5 for this, and I'll show you if I can get it out of there. Hold on. Excuse me. I had it all over my hands. Okay, so once you take it out, okay, you can gauge whether you can save it for a client or not. If it's pretty full, you can save it and put their name on it. But between clients, this is completely disposable. So you don't use this on LaSonia and then use it on Haley or Jim or Chris. It's theirs and theirs alone, or you throw it away after each client. But again, it's $3.99, and we're going to be able to do all of her legs. I could do her whole body with this one thing, and it's $3.99. This one might be $5 or $4.49. Very affordable and disposable because you're not using applicators, you're just using the strip. Does that answer the question? You cannot use it, you can't cross-contaminate, is what I'm saying. If you're using it on one client, it's one client only. And then it's done, you throw it away.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so when we're working with the knee here, we're gonna do the knee, and in this spot, we're gonna use hard wax. And we can apply that with the other wax there. Because you can go over an area like that if there's hair there. Now, most of the time there isn't any hair on the scar, but there might be a little hair around the scar. And the hard wax is gentle enough that you can use it, but you want to be careful about the scars for sure. So we'll just start with this. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit there. There we go, right there. And it's super fast. Working from right to left and left to right. Having the knee up keeps the knee nice and taut. Did that hurt? No. Now, I don't ask that normally, but for her having a fresh one there, I would imagine that was done summertime or early spring. Summertime. So you got to be really careful with those areas. The skin's already compromised. Oh, and then I put my hand in the wax where I didn't want it. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so now we can have her leg down. You can either do both the knees at one time, or you can move right onto the leg. But I'm super excited about showing you how easy it is to spread this on the leg. I mean, it is like easy breezy. I don't know about you, but that's time saver right there. And I love the smooth application of this. So I'm going to start on the right side. I'm going to pull, punch that off and apply pressure. Go back and pick anything up that you missed. So you can kind of keep your hands out of the wax. You always want to rub in the direction of the hair. Never go back and forth, because back and forth like this causes friction, can cause the hair to break off. So you're always going to want to go in the direction of the hair, removing against the direction of the hair. You want 1/4 of an inch of hair on the legs. Man, that is beautiful. Another thing to kind of be careful of is people waxing individuals with diabetes. Be careful of skin grafts, tattoos, piercings, and those sorts of things. Okay, so what do you guys think? Can we have the other leg up here so we can compare? Wow.
That's
Before,
neat.
after, beautiful.
I like how it exfoliated my skin. You can see it's also a different color.
So nice, fresh skin over here, you know, beautiful. Just silky smooth. All right, so we're gonna work over here. On the next leg, starting with the knee first. Now, are all of the participants today, are you from the same area? Or do you live outside of the area?
Erica, where are you from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. Whew,
Nice.
nice. That's where Lasonia'd like to be right now.
Yes, ma'am.
That's one of her favorite places to visit. Let me have your knee up just a little bit more. There we go.
Heike's from San Diego.
San Diego. What's the weather like there?
Right now, it's nice and cool
Nice
and
and
overcast, cloudy. It even sprinkled a little bit this morning, so it definitely cooled down. Luckily, because last week it was horribly hot here and dry.
And dry.
Yeah.
So temperatures can affect the outcome of your waxing as well. So let's talk about climate control in our working area. So for those of you who are in Jacksonville, Florida, where it might be a little bit more, let's say, humid, versus San Diego, where it could be a little bit cooler. So we have, at any given time, it might be 90 degrees one day and 60 the next. Right now we're in a little bit cooler weather, but you want to have your room set at, as close to possible as you can to 68 to 72 degrees. Were all of you aware of that?
Margaret, do you have any tips for if my room is the correct temperature, but my client might be running a little warm and it's affecting the wax?
Yes. So things that I have over the years experienced that particular thing. We like to have a fan. We have a personal little fan that we can kind of blow dry them if they're sweating. Not a blow dryer, but just a fan. Giving them time to cool down from the outside temperature to the inside temperature. Sometimes just a few minutes will do. Because it does. I mean, it does affect whether or not the wax will adhere. We had a kind of a terrible experience. Our air conditioner went out and it was 90 degrees in our room. It was horrible to try and wax. Wax wouldn't adhere to skin. That's why it's super important to try and keep the skin dry and the temperature correct in your room. We actually had to close down because you can't do any waxing on skin that hot.
And I have a question. What about in case of, when your client is sweating, what about using some gentle powder, like a very gentle veil of powder on the skin?
Well, let me address that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't recommend powders simply because we have a buffer titanium dioxide in our product already, except for the honey. Okay, the honey's a little bit different, has different emollients in it and buffers. But I would say that no on the powder. I would pat them dry with a 4x4, use a little bit of a fan to cool them off and go from there. Because talics and powders can clog your pores. And we definitely don't want to have that when we're working with wax, because they're going to get a bunch of bumps and then they're going to be like, well, I broke out. Well, we clogged the pore with powder. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're welcome. Now, back in the earlier days when we didn't have like built-in powdery stuff in the product, which is the titanium dioxide, we would use powders. But as technology has developed and products have evolved over time, we don't have to do that anymore. Are there other questions? Like how to get your client in the right position, techniques used? How do you guys feel about the roll-on right now?
Love it.
Love it.
It really seems like less messy and more, efficient to use. Yeah.
Yes. And what's nice is you can use this on Brazilians, on the mound especially. It works quite well. It's less mess. It's less expense when it comes to applicators. I think it's a great time saver. I think it's really awesome that you guys are going to get 10% off, though. What a great start. Does that also count for equipment? Do you know?
Anything that's Naturaverde Pro.
Awesome. That's an excellent. So you can get started for 10% off of everything. That's a good deal. Okay, so now I'm going to have LaSonia just roll over and we're going to do the back side of her legs really quick. Be thinking about questions. If I don't have an answer, I can definitely get one for you. Let's just.
If we only purchased 2 of the cartridges, which 2 would you recommend to have on for most people.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, for most people. I don't know if there's two, but what you're gonna want is you're gonna want something for medium, to find a medium hair. Hold on just a second, let me get all this. You're gonna want something for find a medium hair. Okay, good, here's our rules. And you're gonna want something for medium to coarse stubborn hair. So if I had to pick two, I would probably say that you would want to pick one that has the fine to medium and for sensitive skin probably, and then one for medium to coarse stubborn, normal to dry, because you can always add a little bit of the buffer, the nourish, to work with the skin's moisture level. So I would say, for me, if I only had to have two in just one setup, I would want the Pink Deluxe, and then I would probably do the pomegranate. So I would use the pomegranate and the Pink Deluxe. But on the other hand, if you wanted to use tea tree and honey, you could do that as well. So I was saving that. And then you can.
How did you label those cartridges?
Oh, we made them. We made them. And so this way I know, where they set, and I'm never confused on what I'm using.
What did you use for this?
This one was the honey. Oh, you mean, what do you
I
mean?
think they want to know how you printed them out.
Oh, I just, I got the labels you can get them from Walmart, and it's usually Avery. And then you just go on, you sign in with your account, and you can type what you'd like in there. And it works great for keeping things organized, Good
I love
question.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good question. Okay. Hold on just one second. Any other questions? Hadley, can you help for a few minutes, please? Just one second. Okay, so we're going to start on the back of the legs here. It won't take us very long. Who has a stopwatch or a timer? Because what I'd like for you guys to do is realistically, I want you to time how long it takes. Well, let's say starting now.
I have a stopwatch.
You got one?
Yes.
Okay, so starting now, or when we said to start now, how long did that take? Less than a minute?
13 seconds.
13 seconds to roll on the back of the leg. And then to get the complete lower leg. Also, Hadley, can you show them that I have her with her foot up and toes down? That makes the back of the leg tight. Go back and pick anything you missed. So generally the back of the leg and by the heel, it's dry. So sometimes you have to kind of push a little bit harder just to get all the product up. And I like to use muslin on the legs for medium to coarse hair, because the product goes right into the fibers and it's easier to come up. So you're going to pull on and then punch that off. Anything that you miss, you want to come back and grab up. But imagine if you weren't talking or demonstrating how fast this would go with your client. So 13 seconds to do the whole back of the leg. And that can vary from tiny legs to big, full, voluptuous legs. I'd say anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds to roll it on. You see how I'm patting? Instead of rubbing back and forth, it's probably better to pat or in the direction of the hair. All right, completely done with the back of the leg there. How long did that take?
2 minutes.
2 minutes from start to finish. Who wants to do a 2-minute leg wax, ladies? Anybody? So let's talk about something that we haven't talked about yet, which is price point. How much would you like to make in 2 minutes? So let's say the lower half of the leg is $45. And you can do a leg each in 5 or 10 minutes from start to finish. Is that good profitability with a $5 cartridge? You see how that could change your life? I don't know. What do you guys charge for lower legs there? Anybody have any numbers?
I'm in a small town in California and I charge 35 for a half leg, but I'm also a beginner. So
Okay, so 35. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So 35 for a lower leg. And you've got what, maybe $3 to $5 invested and about 10 minutes of your time, right? Is the timer still running?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, how much time do we have invested on 2 backs of the leg here?
I would probably say 4 minutes.
4 minutes. That's pretty amazing. Considering you could probably do the front and less because it's less property. Got more real estate in the back of the leg, you know what I mean? Okay.
I get a lot of leg wax clients that have ingrown hairs. So like, it looks like a hair's there, but it's right underneath the skin. Do you have any prep advice for skin like that?
Yes, exfoliation, exfoliation, exfoliation. What's happening is the hair has gotten weak over time. And so it can't get out the hole. It travels under the skin. They'll need to exfoliate to try and work the skin open to where that can get moved out. Got a little wax on my gloves. I'm going to use a little of the Nourish to get that off.
Is there anything we could do during treatment if we come across that? Because I spend a lot of time tweezing those out for people.
Right. Yeah, it is time consuming to do that. I'm going to use the Nourish here. Exfoliation is really key. I mean, tweezing is actually just something that happens. I mean, I do have some, and what happens over time, the hair doesn't want to go out the same follicle hole just because it's been taken out of there and it starts to travel the least resistant. I don't know that there is anything that can prevent that, especially if they're not getting like ingrown sores. It's just that it can't come out that hole anymore. I face that in my, in my salon and in day spa as well.
Holly wants to see how to do the top of the feet, toes, and what wax is good for that area.
Well, okay. What waxes are good for that area? It's usually I like to do the hard wax on the toes, and I like to use the strip wax on the top of the feet. let me get the oil on her legs here just to kind of, because we're going to have to do a little bit of removing. Okay, so I would use, and it's super quick. Everything's already primed. Well, Sonia, you don't have any on your top of your, well, maybe a little bit right there. I would use the strip on the top or the roll-on. Yeah, I did put oil on you, so. And off it comes. And let me demonstrate the toes, because toes are a little, toes are dry. They're just really dry. So I recommend oiling the toes, like especially if you're doing a leg wax. I would start with the legs first and give the toes some time to absorb some of the oils to lubricate the skin up a little bit. I'm just cleaning up some of the stuff I saw on the legs here.
Janet said that she's had good luck with hard wax that is really elastic, applied thin and rolled off on the toes.
Yes, and that's exactly what Naturaverde is great for. I love their gold flex hard wax because it's really pliable. And so we'll demonstrate that. So I like to put a little bit on an applicator. And do you see how I do it? And then I like to just be able to go back to that spot and pick it up if it doesn't get too cool. Thank goodness she didn't have toes on there, but she signed my paper, so. Oh, pretty. You don't have any hair on that toe. It said no way. So I would just go back and use either your applicator, or you can get your tab and then just remove them. It's so easy. The toes are so easy. And if you don't get it all, you can go back and get it again. So I'm going to use a blue hard wax on her big toe because she's got a couple of really short stubborn ones, and I feel like it does a little bit better job with the stubborn ones. And maybe one right there. I don't feel like you have to spend a whole lot of time with the toes. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Did it hurt this on you? No. I don't know what you guys charge per toe, but for as quick as it is, $1 or $2, I don't know. $5 a foot, $10 a foot. What do you charge for that in your salon or spa? The one that made the comment about the hard wax, what do you charge for your toes?
It's included in the price of the leg wax, both half and full. And I've never had anybody ask just for the toes without the legs.
Really? Okay. All right. We charge separately for toes, but if they ask us to include it, it's usually a $5 extra charge. If they want the whole foot, maybe 10. I think it does, like you say, depend on the area that you're in. Looks great. What do you guys think?
That looks great.
Okay, so at the beginning, I told you that we would follow up with our aftercare. So I've already talked to you about our Nourish, which is a post-treatment oil. Sorry about a little bit of wax on there. That was for me today. I'll clean it up. And so we'll use that on the areas that we left any wax. And then on the other follow-up is our after wax lotion. It's called Soothe. It has olive oil, aloe vera, and shea butter. It replenishes and hydrates the skin. And we absolutely love that. So we're going to be using that next. Okay, so we'll just have.
I have a question. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So is this either or do you apply the lotion, the post-treatment oil right after and then the lotion, or how do you?
The oil right after, but I like to use it only if there is wax to be removed. Otherwise, I go right into the Soothe because they have some of the same similar ingredients.
I love the post-waxing oil. I love the scent. It's so.
Oh yes, it is nice. You
It's
can use
nice.
it for.
Yeah. And the lotion is the lotion are also cooling, or is it just to hydrate?
Yes, it does cool. Lasonia's shaking her head. Yes, it cools it down.
Good. It feels good, huh?
Yeah, she said it feels good. And then on the larger areas, because I already have my gloves on, I'm just going to use my hands. I'm just give them a little bit of a arm massage, you know. I'm going to take this off because normally we wouldn't have that on there for the hands. Okay. And then the other one. It's hot in here. It's starting to get hot. She's sweating a little. I'm sweating. Yes. Oh, she's hot. Did we shut the air on?
Just on my hands. I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, cool it down a little bit. Might be too late. There we go. Sonia's hands are all sweaty. So we'll soothe all of the skin that we've waxed. We did the underarms, we did the arms, and now we're going to do the legs. Now, she gets a little bit of these little bumps, but those are not highs and those are normal. You can have those for a couple of hours afterward. It's just where you've had a good removal. So it's actually the follicles just a little bit irritated from the removal of the hair. Completely normal. And then I'm just going to pull that on down to the toes. We'll give her a little bit of a leg massage here. And that's it for our body waxing. It's also great for chest. We did have a chest model, but he got called into work today. So maybe next time. All right.
That was absolutely amazing and beautiful. I so appreciate you doing the training. I'm Kim, by the way.
Is there any final questions about the roll-on, the machine, the waxing techniques, product ingredients, cost points, anything? You can just ask me anything. And I do appreciate the comments that were made, and I'd like to thank you for your time. And that's me signing out, y'all.
Thank you so much. And everybody remember 10% off Naturaverde Pro for the next couple of days. All right.
Thank you.
March.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody coming.